Thank you. So, hello. Two comments before I begin. One, Melissa is unfortunately stuck in a remote airport somewhere with a kid and her husband. And two, it may look as if I cheated, but actually it's the same text but larger, animated. So I didn't cheat, I think. Okay. So we began with. I'll stand here because I'm on the Mac. We began with this image. So we began with this image, and this is the judgment of Solomon, of King Solomon, and a beautiful image. And Solomon is a depiction of the wisest man alive. And the story, which I actually read after we gave the title in the chapter, is that two women come to him with a dead child and a live child, and one says the other switched the child. She killed it in her sleep, and she switched her dead child for the other's live child. And they make the claims, and then Solomon asks a soldier to bring a sword and cut the child in half. And immediately one woman says, "You know what, cut it. No one will have it." And the other says, "No way. Let the child live." And immediately he decides, "This is your child, you have it." Now, aspects that interestingly arise in many of the former talks is that this judgment was immediate, at least as it is depicted in the story. It was immediate, it was spontaneous, and it was a good judgment. We are led to believe that it was a correct judgment. Now, we see this as, you can reverse the word wisdom, you can reverse the word, change the word insight for wisdom. We see this as wisdom in action. And we did define wisdom. Everyone defined wisdom. Everyone that measures something defines through his or her measurements. So we defined wisdom as a process of insight. So this is insight in action. And interestingly, after reading the chapter, just before, 16 verses before the actual act, there is what Solomon asks from God. God asking, "What do you want? Tell me what you want, you'll get it. David got this and this, your father, you will get this and this." And he asks for a heart, the heart that will enable him to judge. Now, interesting. This resonates with the two components we were searching for in insight. Interestingly, and we didn't know this before. So our goal in the project was to capture the process in which a thought, a solution to a difficult problem, emerges into consciousness. Now, insight is the definition of insight, again, a lame definition, but it's appearance of a response, which is correct. It's measured in its relation to its correctness, and it just appears. But we wanted to capture the phases before, when the person has the answer, below its or her consciousness, but is not aware of it, okay? And we took two elements. One is the cognitive element. It's the mental activation of the representation of the answer that is building up below the threshold of awareness, and the emotional reaction to it. And if you think of Solomon's request from God, it is the feeling that this is correct. This is a positivity, an internal evaluation of the positivity towards this solution. And we predicted the combination of both. Oh, the combination, one, I saw the zero coming up. The combination of both would lead to a measure of performance. Now, I won't go into the detail of measurements. There are tools from social cognition, but we present a problem, we measure activation of the solution, and then we have them actually generate the solutions, and we measure the activation of the solution beforehand, or the evaluation of the solution beforehand, and this is measured unobtrusively. So we don't say, "You see the solution?" We measure it we embed it in a different context. What did we find? We found that insights are indeed activated in mind before people are aware of them. Solutions. Second, we did find that insights are positive before people are aware of them. So the mind already evaluates the answer positively before the person is aware that he has the answer. One. Interestingly, neither of these are correlated with performance. So they do not predict the actual solution, so the actual solution of the problem, but the activity in the mind. We need still to find the component or the factor that translate these signals, the existence of these solutions, to awareness of them. We are not there. We had another interesting by finding. Was a 0 up already? Yeah. So I will end with that. We had an interesting by finding that there is a sense of aha moment, an unconscious aha moment. There is a pause. On a solution, there is a pause, although, and this is correlated with actual solution. But people are not aware of this pause, and that's it. Thank you.